Actually, I forgot to set the timer for the vegetables. Can y'all see this? Not distracting at all. Hey y'all. So today I'm going to walk through some meal prep for the week. Meal prep is super important if you're trying to lose weight, maintain weight, if you're just trying to not eat out as much. It's the perfect thing to do to have easy on-the-go meals ready and available for you. So I'm going to walk through some meal prep that we do. I do have some resources on my website that I made available. The link is in the description, but it is an ultimate meal prep guide. It's under printables. If you go under nutrition, there will be a printable section. And this is just a simple like 4-page guide that you can use. It'll tell you kind of some tricks on meal prepping. It'll have some places where you can write in some of your grocery items that you want to use, and then also a template that you can use for meal prep. Now, one thing I personally like to do while I cook is to have a little drink available. And I also like to play Grey's Anatomy or just any other show, but Grey's Anatomy is kind of what I'm hooked on right now. But for my drink, while I'm going to be meal prepping, I'm going to do this Zevia Creamy Root Beer. Very limited ingredients. I don't drink these all the time, but it is something that is a little more fun than just drinking water. So I'm going to have this while I do my meal prep today. I like to put it in a little fancy glass, you know, fancy it up while I'm doing my meal prep. If you've tried these, let me know which one's your favorite. Cheers. Pretty good. One of the proteins that we're doing this week is going to be chicken. So I've got these Farmer's Focus organic chicken breast, and I'm gonna put these in the crock pot. And that is a big tip and trick because the crock pot makes things so much easier. And I personally like my chicken shredded, and so that's what I like to do. So I'm gonna put these in here and I'm gonna season them up really good. I hate touching chicken. I don't like it. I don't like it. I have like my go-to seasonings, and that is a garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, oregano, or some kind of Italian seasoning, salt and pepper. And those are like my go-to that I use on almost everything. So that's what I'm gonna put on this chicken. So we've got this organic chicken broth, and I'll pour some of that on here. And you can just set this and forget it. So this is what we got. We also have a roast that we cooked yesterday, so we had some left over that. So I mean, if you needed to break it up into 2 days and do like, you know, something in the crock pot one day and then the next day and then use those as meals, then you could also do that. So there's lots of different options. And the crock pot's so easy because you just stick the food in there and then you don't really have to worry about it. And then you can eat that for dinner, and then the leftovers can be for your meal the next day. So always different options. The thing that I'm gonna make here is going to be some ground beef. And I've got this local ground beef that I'm gonna cook up. And I'll probably do a few of them and we'll just cook that up. And then what we'll do normally is we'll have like a rice, potato, and beef bowl. And I make some dressings. I do have those available on my website as well, but I've got like a burger like sauce that you can throw on there. We have some vinaigrettes that we'll use as some like dressings or sauces on some of these recipes, like the chicken, for instance. So I am going to chop these guys up and I'm gonna put them on the pan. I'm gonna do that, and I'm also gonna do some other vegetables. Let's see, do some squash, zucchini, and some asparagus, and then I'm also going to do some rice. So some of the meals are going to have sweet potato and asparagus and the meat. Some are going to have the rice and asparagus or squash, zucchini, you know, kind of mix it up so that we're not eating the same thing every day. Asparagus. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set my oven to 375. And I'm gonna peel these sweet potatoes. Okay, so my oven is ready. I'm gonna cut up these sweet potatoes, some asparagus, and squash zucchini. And I'm going to start with some avocado oil. I'm going to add this to my pan here so that we're ready to go. And I'm going to chop these guys up. I do mine in little bitty squares. That's how I like it, but however you like them, that's how you should do it. Unless you don't like sweet potatoes, then just use regular potatoes. Sweet potatoes are great for your gut health. They have vitamin A, potassium, fiber. So great way to get in your vitamins. Overall, this is like one of our favorites. Cut up these squash zucchinis. And I do leave the skin on these. And I like to cut them a little thicker, but it's all up to your preference. If you don't like the skin, then cut the skin off. If you want them thinner, then make them thinner. So it's all up to your preference. I'm gonna add these to the same tray with the sweet potatoes. And I already did wash these. Don't come at me. So we've got our avocado oil. I'm gonna do some salt. This is the Redmond's sea salt. Add some pepper. And garlic powder to the squash zucchini and asparagus. And Old Bay, which is one of our favorites, to the sweet potatoes. I like my sweet potatoes to be a little more savory just because they're already sweet. I know some people like the cinnamon or like brown sugar, but I like the savory on the sweet potatoes. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the oven. Next thing I'm gonna cook is the white rice, and we do normally prefer the white rice. The way I like to make my rice is I like to add it to the pot. I like to use some beef or chicken broth, and I add turmeric, which has great anti-inflammatory benefits. And then I also add black pepper to help activate the turmeric. So I'll add that, and then I'll also add some salt to the rice to give it some good flavor. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm gonna do 2 cups of rice, which means I need 4 cups of broth. But before I put the broth, I'm going to stir this in with the olive oil. This is how I do it. The stove is on, I'm heating it up, I've got it in the olive oil, stirring it all together, coating it real good. And then I'm gonna add in my seasonings. So I'm gonna add in my salt, a teaspoon of salt, stir that together. And I'm gonna add in my turmeric. And I'm terrible at measuring anything, so I just kind of throw it to it. Stir that together. Gives it a nice orangey yellow look. And then I'll add in my black pepper. It's all coated really good. And then I need 4 cups of liquid. So I'm going to again use my chicken bone broth. And I'm going to do 4 cups. Now I am going to measure this just because if I need more, I'm just going to use water. And bone broth is really good because it has protein, it has collagen. So it's a really good addition to add to this recipe. And I'm going to cover this and wait until all the rice absorbs this liquid. Few snacks that I'm gonna make. We like to have trail mix laying around. This is some leftover from our last batch, but I'm gonna make a brand new batch of trail mix and show you kind of what I do. Super easy to make, and we'll just throw it in a little dish if we want a snack, or if I'm traveling, I'll put it in a little bag or jar. But trail mix is a great way to add a little snack and some good nutrients and vitamins to your day if you're hungry. It gives a good sweet and salty mixture, so it's one of my favorites. Okay, so I'm gonna start with just a jar. I save all like my pasta jars and all that, so that's what I got here. And I got a ton of stuff. So anything you have really in your cabinet that could be used for trail mix, that's what I do. So I've got some dried cranberries, I've got some goji berries, I've got some Brazil nuts, some almonds, some sprouted walnuts, I've got some granola, and I've got some pumpkin seeds. And I'm just gonna do a fourth of each one of these, put it in the jar and shake it up. And I do a fourth just because it's easier for me to log this into my FitnessPal and to know what I'm eating. Then when I get a fourth serving out, then I know I'm eating a serving of each. Some Brazil nuts. They have a lot of selenium, which is great for your thyroid health. Almonds. And all of these are just the plain, like they don't have anything added to them, no oils. It's just the ingredients say almonds or walnuts, other than the granola, of course. I'm gonna add a little bit more walnuts, so I didn't get it all the way. And these pumpkin seeds are high in protein too. I might just use the rest of these because there's not that many left. Okay, and then I might have enough granola. That's probably a fourth cup. Like I said, I'm bad at measuring stuff. And that's what it looks like. Shake it up. And then we just pour into a little dish or baggie and eat it when we're hungry. Want a little vitamin and fat protein boost. Good snack. I'm going to throw in a few more snack items that we like to eat. So here are a few that we have for this week. The Paleo Valley beef sticks, the IQ bars, and Safe Catch tuna. This is the first time I'm trying these. I get their protein. That's what I put in my coffee in the morning. And I also have been trying their decaf coffee. So this time I decided to try these little beef sticks, which they're pretty good. I mean, if you're looking for something, this has 6 grams of protein. It doesn't have any kind of like bad ingredients in it. And this is something quick that you can just throw in there for on the go. And then these IQ bars, we love these. We get them off Amazon or Thrive, but no bad ingredients. 12 grams of protein? Yes, 12 grams of protein in these. This one's one of my favorites, but I absolutely love the coconut one if you can find those. But these are great options well to just throw into your bag. And then Safe Catch tuna on its own, or what I like to do is add the Primal Kitchen mayo with some Dijon mustard, mix that together and put it on the Mary's Gone cracker. So just a few quick options that you can have with you to take on the go if you're looking for a quick snack. I got distracted because my husband is walking the driveway right now with a barbell over his head. Not distracting at all while I'm trying to meal prep for the day. Another thing that I always have is my peppermint protein balls. They don't have a ton of protein, but they do have protein in them. So I have those. If you haven't checked out that short, please check it out. It's one of my favorite recipes. So I love to put these on the creamy, so I like to go ahead and make my creamy. Normally I will use just regular milk, but I did find this vanilla Califia organic almond milk. It only has 3 simple ingredients: almonds, organic vanilla, and sea salt. So I'm gonna use, well, it says 4 ingredients because there's water too, but anyway, so I'm gonna use this. And the reason why I'm using this is because I want my milk option, but if I don't need all that sugar for the day, I want a less sugar option. And then, sorry, this isn't a baggie because I busted it, but the Mind Body Green whey protein, I'll add 2 scoops of this to my creamy, and then I'll have this ready to go. I'll just shake it up, put it in the freezer, and then it's ready to go. I blend it up in my Ninja Creamy, top it with one of my peppermint balls, and it is such a good snack. I freaking love it. I eat it like every night, basically. So shake that up, add it to the freezer, and that's it. I'm going to season the beef with the same mixture. So I've got some paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, oregano, and I'm going to use some pepper. And that's almost done. So we'll let that finish cooking, and we're almost ready to plate it up. The rice, see how that's doing. Rice needs to be stirred. Look at that. Looks good. That's almost done too. So I'm probably gonna leave the top off of this one just so that I can see kind of where it's at. But the rice is almost done. The beef is almost done. Chicken still got a while. The vegetables have 1 minute. Actually, I forgot to set the timer for the vegetables. So we're just kind of gauging those. They're probably done, to be honest. I feel like it's been 30 minutes. So I'll get those out here in a second. Vegetables. Put those there. All right, so I have 6 containers here. I'm gonna do a 1/2 cup of rice in each one. I'm gonna do another sweet potato meal. I got all kinds of meals here. These bamboo ones are okay. All right, and then I'm gonna measure out the beef. So I've got it on ounces on the food scale, and I'm just gonna do, there we go. Okay, so we have 3 beef meals here. We have the beef, sweet potatoes, and squash. Same thing, and then one with beef, rice, and squash. And then the chicken is gonna go in these with the asparagus, rice, and then 1 squash. All right, this chicken has cooked for around a little over 2 hours, and I shredded it. It smells delicious, and we're gonna go ahead and put it in these meal prep containers. Got my 8 meals back here with beef, chicken, the turmeric rice. We've got some vegetables in there. And honestly, just another tip too, if you don't want to make the vegetables like I did, you can easily get the frozen vegetables, like the broccoli is another good one. Honestly, we have some of those in here. I may still pop those in the microwave, heat those up, and then add them to some of the containers because they are a little light on the vegetables. It's a great hack to just add more vegetables to those meals. So again, just some things to make it easier, and I will link these in the description, but these little glass containers have been great. They come in all different sizes, so you can have the small ones for like your sauces or the big ones for your actual meals. This rainbow scale has been awesome. It's under 20 bucks on Amazon. There are cheaper ones as well, but it'll have you measure out your ounces or milligrams and grams. So it's a great thing to have as well. And each one of the meals has around 30 grams of protein. And I'll put the macros on the screen, 300 to 500 calories. And that also depends on what kind of meat that you're using, how lean the beef is. If you're using a different type of vegetables, it's not gonna make a big difference in that case, but any kind of sauces that you add, any kind of those vinaigrettes or the burger sauce, or if you add avocado or salsa, or even the oils that we added. So it just depends. So those macros are just kind of a general view. If you want your own macros, then you're gonna have to get your scale out and you're gonna have to weigh it. And that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. In the meantime, eat real food, read your nutrition labels, be kind to yourself and others. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.